I've had depression all my life, and there's been suicide attempts. And I tried to take my life through a suicide attempt. And the time that I actually died for a little while, my heart stopped. I went to the other side. And the first thing that happened was in this doorway, and I was like standing in the doorway, looking like you're looking into a room. And it was a small room. It looked like a little chapel almost. It had pews that were going up. I'm standing in the back of the chapel. I'm looking up. I see 2 people here, 3 people here, another 3 here, another couple of people here. And it wasn't filled up, and there weren't that many pews in the first place. But in front of me, towards the center of the church or chapel or whatever you want to call it, it looked like a little hospital chapel is the closest thing I can associate it with, because I've seen those. It was this figure. It was this brilliant light. And so it was around this being, but it had form, right? But the light was like all encompassing, and it was around and emanating from it. And the love was so powerful coming from this being. And it didn't walk up to me. It just like floated towards me, and it said, "I want to show you something." And it took me to this field where it took me to this field, and I won't go too much into detail about it. And it said, "I want to show you what it'd be like if you stayed here." And it did. And then it said, "I want to show you what it's like if you go back." And I think I was most interested in what that was. And I know that they showed me a lot. I felt like I was there for a really long time. But then they brought me back too. And when I woke up, I remembered everything that happened, except I don't remember what they showed me. And so obviously I made the choice, because they gave me a choice whether to stay or come back, and I had made the choice. But I have to tell you, the instant that I realized I made the choice to come back, I was so mad. I was so mad at myself. Like, why am I back here? I was trying to escape here. I was trying to go to the other side. Why would I choose to come back here? But that was my first one. The second one happened in my 40s. And I've had lots of illnesses throughout my life. And so I was having strokes at that time. And I crashed to the ground in front of the door. I knew a stroke was coming on, and I crashed to the ground. And I had already called my boyfriend at the time, and he was on his way home. But I passed out somehow, and I was taken to it was a beach area, and it was a really long beach, like white sand beach. And there were trees over here, and lush green trees, really thick. And there was water over here to my right, and then rock formations over that. And then you could see like the water went out to an ocean. And I was looking down the beach, and there was a figure down there emanating light all around it, from it, grew it. It had form, but I didn't know who it was. And then all of a sudden it was before me and it felt like Jesus. And at least it felt like it. I don't know for certain, but it really felt like it. And at that time, they were talking to me about my troubles. And they said, I want you to look down at a grain of sand. And so I was thinking, how can you pick out a grain of sand in all of this, right? And they said, I want you to concentrate on just a grain. And then I want you to know that your troubles here on earth are like the whole of this beach being the whole of things, and you're just concentrating on one speck. And then after that, I came back, and that was really a stunning experience, and boy, did it make a lot of sense. So for me, going into a space of thinking, and I literally do things like I go in, I light candles before a reading, I will meditate, I will ask God to come in, I will ask my angels and spirit guides for a higher power to assist in that. And then I bring in the person's saying things for them and people that have passed away loved ones, because I want to come from a higher place. I think one of the things that kind of scares people and can happen is when you just open yourself up to anything can come in. And I think that's really important to make sure that's coming from a higher place. Also, for me, sometimes I feel overwhelmed when I'm in a crowd or a space where I don't feel comfortable or whatever it may be. And I do a couple of things. One of the things that is most helpful that I first started out doing was putting a white light. I imagine a white light surrounding me and protecting me from anything outside. And I always put love inside this bubble, right? And I've always told my children, when you don't feel safe, do this, and this will help you. And so they've always used it. And then that helps you when you're going out, it helps you in situations. The other thing is if you're in maybe a toxic relationship, because I've had those, or you're going in where you think there's going to be an argument. I imagine two-way mirrors, like when you watch the police shows and you can see through one side, but they look at the mirror and they can't see through. So you put the mirrors all the way around you, completely around you. You can see through, but the people on the outside can't see you. And I bring down what you would do with the white light, all the love and protection. I bring that down into this like a cylinder. And I imagine these mirrors going way up to the sky. So nothing can come over them, nothing can get in them whatsoever, but it's open, because a lot of times we think of things being above us, right? It's funny because when you're feeling these certain ways and you don't have other people that you could really talk to, or just if you're wanting to just put it down, it gives you a way to go back and validate it yourself when something transpires and happens. For me, when I was younger, I always tried to find validation outside of myself. And I think that got really hard because I was told so many of the time it was just my imagination, or the kids didn't really feel that way about me. And there was so much negative things put towards that made me start to wonder if I was really connecting. But then I started journaling it, and because I wanted the proof, I wanted some kind of validation that this was happening. So I think it's important that you validate it for yourself and that you don't look outside of yourself for the validation. But the more that you do it, the more it comes, right? It's like a muscle. And the more you work on it, the more you work it out, the better it becomes. So I think that's really an important thing for people to do for themselves to get what they want out of things. So we used to go to our grandparents' house when for holidays, Christmas, Easter, things like that. I don't remember which holiday it was, but we would lay on a couch that turned into a bed. And we were out in the living room and they had a ceiling fan that was on your side of the bed. And I was looking at it and I saw orbs that were colored. They were colorful orbs. And I knew they were angels. At first, I didn't know a word for it. I didn't know for quite some time what to call it. So I would get thoughts of other people's or feelings that I knew other people were feeling, usually how it involved with me, like how they were feeling about me. And so in school growing up, it was really difficult. You almost feel like you're going crazy. Like that's how I used to feel, like, I don't know how I'm getting this. Somebody was thinking about me and I know, and I would have feelings about an ex and I wouldn't know where that was coming from, or I would know before somebody would call me. And it was like that. It's been like that my whole life. And then later on, I found out, I think first through another intuitive who was a friend of mine, I learned from her that I was an empath. And then I really did some research into what is that? What does that mean? And I could check every box thinking, this is me. Knowing what other people are feeling. I don't know why I was feeling happy. And then all of a sudden I started feeling really sad. And it would take me about 2 days to figure out, oh, this isn't me. This is somebody else. And when I started, the trick I started using was when I would start feeling like that and wouldn't, at first you feel like it's your own feelings. So, but then after a couple of days, you're like, well, I just don't understand why I continue to feel like this. I was so happy just the other day. And all of a sudden I'm so depressed, or I'm so sad, or whatever it is. I'm so angry. And then when I would realize, oh, this isn't me, I would say it out loud. I would say, oh, this isn't me. This is somebody else. And I'd usually know like where it was coming from. It would instantly stop. I wouldn't feel crazy anymore. It would just instantly stop. Now, if it was me, because there's a difference. If it was me and I would say that, it wouldn't stop. And then I know, okay, this is something I need to deal with. Somehow this has come up for me. So there is a fine line between that. But if you're getting this a lot, I suggest that you do that you say, oh, I don't think this is me. This isn't me. And see if it stops. My biggest message for anybody listening is that listening to your intuition, listening to your gut is the most powerful tool that you have. And that it's really important that you stop brushing it off thinking that you're wrong, or that maybe it's just your imagination or you're making it up, and to really go by that and to spread love wherever you go, whether it's just a simple smile that you give to people, because you never ever know what somebody is truly going through. And your smile will brighten somebody else's day, And then it could make them pass that forward, pay it forward, right? And so you never know what kind of rolling effect you're having when you're doing just simple things, opening doors for somebody, helping somebody with their grocery bag or whatever. It just little acts of kind. The best way to get a hold of me is through my email address, which is loveliveson111@gmail.com. I offer intuitive and medium readings. So it's both. It's a lot of intuitive, and then it seems every reading I have, everybody has passed away loved ones that will come in and want to give them messages, or their spirit team, whether it's angels or spirit guides, will come in. And so that's the readings that I give right now.
Next up, check out this playlist of other NDE interviews. Please like and subscribe. It really helps this channel to grow so I can bring you more content. Thank you for watching. I'm so glad you're here.